I've been so eager to film this video. I cannot wait to share with you what we're doing today. But you can see from the title, we're doing some sniffing, some good old-fashioned first impressions. I reached out to my friends at Decant X, which I rarely do. I don't like to ask people for things, but I've been seeing a lot of talk about all of these fragrances we'll be talking about today, but especially the main one, Aventus, or Absolu Aventus, whatever they're calling it. I've seen so much about it. I've been trying to avoid it and I just can't avoid it. It's everywhere. I've seen many opinions about it. I don't really know what to believe, so I'm not going to believe any of them. I'm just going to see what my nose tells me, even though, as you can hear, a little bit sick, been getting over a cold, but I couldn't wait any longer. I've been sitting on these fragrances for over a week now and I'm tired of waiting. So with the smelling that I can still do, which is still more than sufficient, we're going to do some sniffing. Let's get right into it. If you have no idea what Decant X is, first of all, they're not exactly sponsoring this video other than sending me the decants that I requested, but they are easily my top source for decants of designer and niche fragrances. They are always expanding, always adding the newest, latest stuff. They have tons of options in terms of sizing. They have great shipping, especially if you're in the US. Just an incredible company all around. And because we're friends and because you and I are friends, I have a gift for you, which is a code. That code is StayFresh15 and it saves you 15% off any purchase at Decant X. We've had a long-standing code with them for years now and nothing's changed. So you can still get that discount with that code. Everything's going to be down in the description, so you don't forget. We have the main event here contained in its own little separate lipstick atomizer, which is just how all the decants come. And I know most of you are here mainly for my opinion on this fragrance, and after I give it to you, you'll probably click away, but I urge you to not click away because I got some other really highly discussed ones that I can't wait to give you my opinion on too. So if you're a real one, stick around beyond the first fragrance. I want to go into this with a relatively fresh nose, and I am going to put it on my hand. I'm not going to wear it because I'm wearing something else right now. And then I will smell the other fragrances off of tester strips. So first one up here, Creed Absolu Aventus, the long awaited flanker that seems to have a lot of controversy behind it, but let's just give it a spray. Okay. In the air, I'm getting what I've heard people say. I'm getting a mix of Aventus with Dior Sauvage Elixir. Crudely speaking, it's rough, but I can see where that's coming from. There is a fresh, crisp, juicy fruitiness to the scent, but I'm also getting this sharp, spicy shower gel like ambery warmth that I get out of Sauvage Elixir. Anyway, let's see how it is up close. Okay, so I'm getting more of a citrus vibe than a pineapple vibe. It's not all that fresh, which I kind of expected from the bottle being this beautiful piano black. Maybe I'm getting some spices, some woods. It smells like Creed quality. It smells really good. It's not blowing me away. I couldn't say I like it more than Aventus or Aventus Cologne. I like it. It's definitely Aventus adjacent. It feels like a flanker. However, honestly, from what I'm smelling right here, I get just as much, if not a little bit more enjoyment out of Dior Sauvage Elixir as well as Creed Aventus. But I'm intrigued. I'm going to reserve any final thoughts for later when I get a chance to wear this fragrance. I'll be wearing it very soon, giving it some full sprays and seeing how the vibe is. And also as my nose clears up, I'll have a better idea. So I'm going to come back to it towards the end of the video to see how it's drying down. Once again, don't click away. Thank you for joining me for this. I hope you decide to stick around for some of these other exciting fragrances. So let's dive right into them. If you order multiple decants at once, especially in their box sets, they do come like this,
which is cool.
First one up here is Parfum de Marly Altair. I have had several opportunities to smell this one. I've seen it out at Nordstrom and other stores and I've just bypassed it. So this will truly be my first impression. Let's see how we do. I've been hearing mixed things about it. Okay. You know, I do have to say that fragrance presentation, that means the bottle, the color, the look of the fragrance before it's even sprayed, is a huge factor. It's a psychological thing. It does influence what you smell. It influences what you feel about what you smell. I feel like the aesthetic of this fragrance visually does not really match what I'm smelling here. It's like this rich, earthy, rusted brown color, orangish maybe. I'm getting a lot of white florals. I think it's maybe an orange blossom with a cream creamy vanilla behind it and maybe a little bit of this dusty warmth behind that. But this is not what I would expect from a scent like this. I did hear this is primarily a vanilla fragrance. Maybe on the skin that'll come out more, but I can see the vanilla being a supporting role, but definitely this is a white floral forward fragrance, which I would not expect from this color of a bottle. I would expect kind of a cream or an off-white, but it's fine. It smells nice. Once again, not blowing me away. I will say it is relatively more interesting than I expected from the brand with their most recent releases. I'll be curious to get it on skin and to re-smell it. Again, can't let this be the final say. Let's move on. Next up is Nishane Hacivat X. Now, the one thing I've heard about this fragrance is that many people are like, I just prefer the original Hacivat. It's always been pleasant to me, but I've never loved it enough to go get it. This is very diffusive. This is in the air already. Wow. Definitely getting that fruity pineapple with a very heavy moss. This stuff is heavy. I haven't even moved the test strip and it's everywhere. I'm smelling this very strongly. I was wondering if my smell was going out because I wasn't smelling the Parfum de Marly super strongly, but I can smell this no problem, even more so than the Creed. I fear that if I bring it up to my nose, it's just gonna shock me completely and I'll lose all smell. I'll waft it. Okay. Already, I think I kind of prefer this to the original Hacivat. It's a little bit more bottom heavy, a little bit less bright, but still has a sweetness. The sweetness reminds me a little bit more of Cedrat Boisé. I get that kind of fruity sweetness in here, but this is nice. This is my favorite of what I've smelled so far. I've only smelled one of the other X flankers from Nishane, and that is Ani X, which I do have, and I'm getting to know that one. I do enjoy it, but it is a lot. So I'm not surprised that this one is really strong. We'll be coming back to this. Good stuff. You guys are literally going to witness my nose fall off. I just know it. Up next, Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male Elixir. I have seen so much hype for this fragrance. The bottle, beautiful. But I've heard the fragrance itself, while being very good, I've heard it's just kind of not all that different. Kind of like typical designer vanilla. Okay, once again, in the air, very diffusive. I'm getting that familiar Le Male DNA. There is a freshness here, like a lavender, clean, soapy quality, but it is creamy and sweet and has a little bit of a darkness from that sweetness. Definitely vanilla. It smells the way I expected, which is kind of a bummer. It might feel ironic that, you know, we have expectations and we're happy when they're met, but I don't actually want to be able to smell a fragrance before I smell it. It's not bad, but I'd rather be blown away and surprised. Interesting. Okay, up close there is a weird note, something tarry or rubber-like. It's not bad, it's just interesting. I want to get this on skin. In the air, was not moved. Definitely pleasant, but not moved by it. Up close, interesting stuff. Not a realistic depiction of what it will actually smell like when worn, of course, because you're not burying your nose into any spot where you sprayed it all day long. I can see why people would like this. And I do think it is a fine flanker. Time will tell. I don't know, but I will report back. So we just have one more. I do believe I know what it is. I believe it's the newest from Gucci, which I think it's Guilty Elixir. I'm not sure if this is the right one. It doesn't say Elixir on it. It just says Gucci Guilty Pour Homme. But it is green, which is reminiscent of the color. I believe the original Gucci Guilty is not an eau de parfum. I do know Gucci Guilty, so if it is that, I will know it. But let's see. I hope this is actually the Elixir. Maybe they just ran out of space on the sticker. Yeah, this is not the original Gucci Guilty. This is the Elixir. Interesting. I'm getting florals, like an indolic white floral scent, kind of thick and heady, a little bit sweet, a little bit fresh, soft, but present. Once again, I applaud Gucci for going off the beaten path here for a male marketed fragrance. This is pretty floral forward. I'm gonna look up the notes here. Notes are orange blossom, nutmeg and pimento seeds. Heart notes, orange blossom, orris, osmanthus. Base notes of ambrophix, whatever they want to call it. Vanilla, benzoin, and patchouli. So yes, definitely getting white florals and vanilla. Orange blossom. Is orange blossom and vanilla a new trend for this year or for this coming season? I don't know. I can't say I love it, but it is interesting. I do want to learn more about it. I do want to wear it on skin and see what it does. I can see this being really elegant, something to wear confidently on an evening out when it's not terribly hot, but I can see it maybe being all season. I wouldn't want to overspray this, otherwise it'll get really powdery. Not a love, but a like for sure. Now, it doesn't smell completely unlike anything I've smelled before, but it does not come across as mass appealing, as something that everyone will enjoy. which I appreciate. There's specificity here. So before we round off, let's return to Absolu Aventus and then we'll call it a video. So it's been about 20 minutes almost since I sprayed Absolu Aventus. Let's see how it is. Interesting. It has really gotten close to the skin. I can't smell it that well. It could be me for obvious reasons, but I was smelling these others just fine. It's coming off really light. It hasn't changed that much. I'm still getting quite a bit of citrus with this slightly sweet, dark warmth behind it, just kind of resonating in the background, but not really shaping the scent yet. It smells a little bit less like Sauvage Elixir, a little bit more like Aventus, but some of that Sauvage Elixir backbone is still kind of there. I'm even getting very slight Raja Apex vibes. Once again, we'll have to come back and see how it does with the real wearing. I can say that Hacivat X is my favorite, but let me know what you think. If you've tried all these fragrances out of the ones I tried today, I believe there was 5 of them. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Once again, I will link to Decant X in the description. Do check them out. Sample first, guys. All these new releases that come out, you see reviews on them, you get excited, you want to experience them. Sample it first. You will not regret it. Raise your hand if you've ever regretted sampling first. Exactly. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you to Decant X for semi-sponsoring this video. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.